Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. More to the ladies. And then welcome to our guests, the men. It's a privilege to be given this platform to share my views on the Afcfta and also the involvement of women. This morning, I wish to speak to you on an aspect of this special area of trade in the light of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, with a rather self-serving interest in entrepreneurship training. Congratulations to the African Union on this ambitious, long overdue, but absolutely necessary policy. As I teach eager young students the entrepreneurship course, I see the desire of many to transition almost immediately from theory to practice, without a care in the world. I noticed that for many of the young females that I teach, they often have existing enterprises that either support them financially or have been nursing ideas for years, even at young ages. For the latter, I often marvel at the repository of enthusiasm expressed through interactions on the desire to start out their enterprises, sometimes beyond the shores of Ghana. And I ask myself, why not? The world is theirs to conquer. But the road to entrepreneurship in Ghana and the rest of Africa is not without its own challenges. In spite of women's decades-long participation in trade and the crucial contribution made to the African economy, they face numerous obstacles which limit them to commercial exchanges at the individual, household, and community levels. Scaling up from these levels have been challenging for the most part. In my opinion, if the Afcfta, which covers an estimated market of 1.2 billion people with a gross domestic product of $2.5 trillion, has any chance to succeed in the long term, it would be imperative to talk about the volumes of trade interactions and partnerships riding on the backs of not only multinationals, but the women entrepreneurs who form an appreciable number on the continent. While we seek to consolidate the efforts of all Africans in this revolution policy implementation, I wish to say that much has to be done in educating women on their participation. It is a cliche that entrepreneurship, particularly trading, does not require training, but due to the changed landscape, this cliche must be challenged. The Afcfta and its implementation seems quite high level for many, but successful implementation lies at the doorstep of households and individuals. The role of education generally promises to involve the active participation of the next generation in first the design of the services and goods which serve as the basis of the policy. Second, both formal and non-formal entrepreneurship training promises to promote better partners among enterprises on the continent. I would like us to juxtapose the projected population of the continent of 2.5 billion by 2050 and the GDP forecast of $16 trillion by 2060. What does this policy mean to the 36 state parties and the majority of women who reside in them? How are the women traders to know about the numerous protocols related to trade in goods, services, dispute settlement, and others? How would they know about the standards required for their goods to be accepted for inclusion in this policy implementation? A lot of work has to be done. At the level of engaging women entrepreneurs in Ghana alone, there seems to be a lack of knowledge of the policy itself and a poor appreciation for the additional effort required for full participation. To many, even those who have heard about the policy, it seems as if it is something that's being done on one side whilst trading goes on another side. With many women venturing into the spaces of working intellectually together among different countries, for instance, what does this mean for intellectual property rights? The fact that no specific provisions or protocols have been made for women under the Afcfta, I believe, cannot be a deterrent to our participation. While the opportunities to leverage provisions in the agreement do not overtly exist for the benefit of women, there must be exposure of the available spaces for sustained uptake. For instance, the application of rules of origin under the agreement provisions promises to ensure that participant entrepreneurs use significant African content in their products so as to qualify as originating products with eligibility under the Afcfta preferential trade regime regarding raw materials and value addition. As I engage with young entrepreneurs, first in my lecture halls and second in other spaces of interaction, the realization that this formidable African revolution is happening on the blind side of a significant constituency, women and young people. And this is not lost on me, and I hope it won't be lost on all of us in our deliberations today. We must also understand that there is also opportunity under the Afcfta Article 4 of the Protocol in Trade and Services, which gives states the right to regulate in accordance with their national policy objectives. I believe with many opportunities being availed for women in diverse forms on the continent, member states may use this leeway to implement at the country level this policy with gender parity in mind. There is freedom to modify it to suit the implementation in country. I wish to conclude that there should be deliberate effort to include women, and I mean women in different sectors and strata of society, in the entire value chain of implementation, from policymakers, professionals in different fields, example, lawyers, marketers, investment analysts, construction, IT professionals, those in academia, farmers, and others. This is critical to support a deliberate upgrade of their areas of specialization to meet the explosive demands of the Afcfta. There is additional need to undertake a value chain mapping exercise to congregate all such participants in charting the path to achieving the goal to greater benefit women on the continent. Finally, there is a need to place the discussion of the Afcfta in many little and not so little spaces for education, and I mean formal and non-formal, for access, and this includes young female entrepreneurs or entrepreneurship students in my lecture halls and those in other academic institutions, to ensure that an appreciation of benefits is fully registered with the next generation. I want to say thank you, and I wish us all best in our deliberations today. Thank you.